So eggs are getting a little expensive at the stores, aren't they? You're thinking about buying chickens, aren't you? Hello, YouTube world. Pretend Farmer here. Now, we all know that egg prices are ridiculously high in the stores, and they're saying that they're going to go up even more. My goodness, you might be paying $13 a dozen for eggs this summer by July. You know, got to do something. We got to get chickens, right? Well, do you?
You better think about what you're trying to do to me.
I want you to consider a couple things real quick. I have all these people come to me and they say, Pretend Farmer, we got our chickens 5-6 months ago and they're still not laying eggs. They're not going to. It takes a chicken sometimes 6 or 7 months before they'll start to lay. And it depends on what time of year you get them, really. But you know, you're going to get chickens and you're not going to have eggs for a long time, assuming you start them out as baby chicks. So you need to understand, first of all, it takes a long time to get eggs. And even then, you're going to get some eggs, but maybe not enough to satisfy your needs. You say, well, how many chickens do I really need? Well, family of 4 that eats a lot of eggs, you're going to want probably at least 6 or 7 hens, because not every hen lays every day. And depending on how many eggs you eat, you might be cutting it close just for that. Now, if you've got a small backyard, you're going to have a hard time comfortably housing all those hens, and it's going to get to be quite stressful for you. So a couple things to understand about chickens is, first of all, you're buying animals. These are not egg-laying machines. They're creatures that need to be cared for, and that takes time, effort, and money, and it can be aggravating. Sure, it's fun to come out here and feed these things bananas, but what you got to remember is they can be noisy. So if you're going to try and smuggle chickens into your HOA and think, oh, I'll just keep it a little secret, people will find out. There's no way to muffle these things. But yeah, as far as caring for them, it goes way beyond just throwing some feed and water out there and letting them lay eggs. Summertime, chickens can get mites. You got to clean their coop regularly and treat them for that. There's parasites. You got to treat them for those. If they're walking on a lot of squishy ground or whatever, you got to keep an eye out for bumblefoot. Their feet can get infected. We've had to deal with that here. I've got videos on it. When it snows, you need to throw straw down for them in their run. You need to pack bedding in their coops when it's really cold. Their water's going to grow algae. You don't just fill a big 5-gallon bucket up and leave it for a week. Replenish that stuff daily. Depending on how you choose to feed them, that feed could draw in creatures you don't want, like mice and rats. You're going to have to maybe beef up your pest control. You're going to have a plan for how you're going to store all this feed, or you're going to end up with some kind of infestation you don't want, and you'll be spending all the money you saved on eggs to pay an exterminator to get rid of all the mice and rats you got running around. See, all these things you got to think about. Chickens get sick. You got to decide, am I going to take them to the vet? Am I going to pay all these vet bills? Or am I going to be comfortable enough to be able to call that chicken and kill it? I mean, their life expectancy, for crying out loud, is like 5-6 years, is considered a really old chicken. So if you're going to take them to the vet every time they get a sniffle, you're going to probably be out of a lot of money. And you just need to understand, while it's important to care for them, there comes a point where you got to be willing to get rid of them, and you got to be willing to do the job. And it's hard because you feed them bananas and you like them and you get attached to them. Then there's all the maintenance, especially if you think you're going to buy one of these little El Cheapo do-it-yourself, build-your-own coop kits from Tractor Supply or Lowe's. You spend $300-400 on this little rinky-dink thing. They fall apart so fast, it's not funny. And you're quickly going to find yourself constantly out there repairing it, trying to build, add onto it, and make it better, stronger. You're going to spend really good money for a coop. You know, you can get creative and build your own. That's the best route to go. But even then, you're putting a lot of effort, a lot of work. You're spending money on time and materials. Think about that before you get chickens. Their water will freeze this time of year. It's currently starting to snow. I'm going to have to go out there and unthaw their water today. You're going to have a plan for that, either replenish it or have some kind of trough heaters. Bags of feed are heavy. Usually bags of feed range from 40 to 50 pounds. You may not be able to lift that depending on your health and your condition. How's about the poop? Chickens poop a lot. I mean a lot. And they will make a mess really quick. So it's not like you just turn them loose in your backyard everything's going to get really nasty really fasty. And they'll scratch around too, so grass quickly will turn into mud. They're not going to have a fenced-in grassy area. They will eventually tear it to pieces. And then they start taking dust bath, which leaves potholes. You got to either fill those holes or just be okay with holes everywhere. If you want chickens, good luck finding them. Don't take my word for it. Make the phone calls. Your hatcheries are either so backed up they're not promising any shipments till mid to end of summer, or they might not even be taking orders altogether. I've called Hoover, Meyer, McMurray. None of them look very promising, and it's not even spring yet. Good luck. Tractor Supply is going to be like Black Friday when they start their chick days, if they can even get chicks. You're going to pay really good money for chicks on the black market. Craigslist, people be selling those things like crazy. So you say, well, is there anything good about having chickens then? Well, sure. You are going to get some eggs. Hey, chicken. Hey, chicken. Oh my goodness. So yes, there is rewarding parts to having chickens. I just love it when you pick an egg and it's still warm, fresh out the chicken's butt. Such a good feeling. And I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna crack this one and I'm gonna warm it even more in a skillet. Make me an egg sandwich for breakfast. I think she's a little bit bothered that I stole her egg. You know, temperatures right now are pushing freezing outside, and depending on where you live, if you don't pick these eggs fairly quick this time of year, they will freeze and bust. There's another thing to consider. Are you really even around enough to take care of your chickens and pick the eggs and manage your flock? Stuff to consider. Till next time, this is the Pretend Farmer going to eat some eggs. We're signing out.